And this is the 19th day of October, 14 minutes before the hour. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
A little spring in your step this morning, right?
Yes, sir. I love early mornings, especially when you get to walk downtown and it's cool. And we've all had a lot of hot weather, and I think it's time for cool weather.
Well,
Football weather.
I think it's time, too, for an update from our city council, your District 3, of course. And, City Council met for a big meeting. It was a kind of a lengthy meeting as well on Tuesday night. Talk about it.
Yes, sir. We've got some things knocked out. We set some public hearings for some different properties. We declared 2 properties a nuisance where the lots have overgrown, and we're starting on our tearing our houses back down. Mike Whetstone and Alex Lambert, the city clerk's going to be working on that the next couple of weeks to get a contract ready, because we're going to start back doing that. The big topic, Jimmy Dale, and I don't know how it got out. I know Mr. Perryman had asked about some when we collect business licenses, make sure we got everything in order that we need. And Ms. Lambert had put it on the agenda upon his request, because the council agreed upon it also. So we got to looking through that, and then the agenda went out and it showed what was in there, that the city clerk could ask for W-2s and tax returns and gross receipts and whatnot. Well, that's always been in that ordinance, okay? And when Livingston, our city attorney, says you can't amend that's part of the state law. So what we're going to do, we're not going to ask any businesses for their W-2 tax returns or
a lot of people questioning that.
A lot of people got upset about that, because here's the deal: businesses don't pay their taxes until the 20th of the month. Okay. Well, some don't file until January, February, because the state gives businesses a little leeway. Well, you may not get it back till April or May, so we can start collecting business licenses in November, December. So if you was to go through with that, then they're all going to get a penalty, and that's not fair. So we're going to keep operating the city when it comes to business license the way we've been doing it for 50 years, and that's the honor system. We've got good businesses here. We got people that tell the truth. We got people that's been doing business with this city for over 30, 40 years, and we don't see any reason to change it. So what we've done, I called the city council president, told him my concerns. He had the same concerns, and we scratched that, got it off the agenda, and we're not going, it's still in the ordinance, because say you, Ms. Lambert or whoever the city clerk was, had a question about how much business license you're actually paying, saying you're not actually telling the whole truth, then she could, by state law, ask for those things. But is she going to? Absolutely not, unless it's necessary.
Has the issue with the food trucks, has that settled down?
Yeah, it hasn't. And here's the deal with that. We, as a city employee, Ms. Lambert is enforcing rules that have never been enforced. You know, we welcome all food trucks. We like the food truck idea. I don't like it downtown, because I've got, my district is downtown, and I've got restaurants here all over the city that have been here during the good times, been here during the bad times. They make their money. They spend their money here. Food trucks are coming in, making money, and they're taking it elsewhere. That's fine. Half the community likes the food trucks, 3/4 don't. It is what it is. So there's a lot of different things with food trucks that you've got to have. You've got to have your business license. You've got to have a health certificate. You've got to have permission from the property owner. Well, there were some things going on. Some people didn't have permission from the property owner. We had property owners didn't know a food truck was set up on their property because they don't live here.
Yeah.
They don't know. You had some that didn't even have a business license.
Now, in the food truck owner's defense, they had gone through some change, with the manager of the store or whatever.
That's correct. And they have the copy of the ordinance also of what they're supposed to have. Well, and it never was enforced. Some said, well, you'll be okay, or don't worry about it. Well, that's not the case anymore. We have to dot every I and every T.
New sheriff in town.
New sheriff in town. She's doing a great job. She has the support of the council and the mayor. And every food truck got to find a place to go. So it ain't like we just run it. We didn't run.
Food trucks are everywhere now.
Food trucks are everywhere. We still have Food Truck Friday down at Central Park. You know, everything's fine. They just had to get there. A lot of them come and got their papers in order. So, and they continue to operate business. So we're still working with that, and we're going to work with everybody. every food truck, anybody that wants to operate a business here, we're going to make it as easy as possible for people to do business with the city of Sylacauga.
And the city of Sylacauga, as far as new business, is booming too.
Oh my gosh, we are so blessed. You got Taco Bell. I look for them to be open next. I've never seen a Taco Bell go up as quickly as that. You've got Shogun right beside Dairy Queen. You got Dollar General moving across the street over on Highway 21. I mean, Sylacauga is open for business, and people are taking advantage of that, Jimmy Dale. I mean, we are really doing good. Our revenue is starting to increase. We're starting to see more people come in. I mean, we are very blessed at where we are right now.
When is that 1.5 cent sales tax? When are we going to start seeing that reflected?
What we're going to start doing, we're going to have another budget meeting in April, and we're going to see where we are with the money. Okay, because as you know, we cut $2 million out of everybody's budget. April will give us almost our first quarter, maybe a little over our first quarter. So we'll actually know how much money we have to work with. Because when they wanted to raise sales taxes back in 16 and 17, they projected a $4 million increase. Well, we're hoping that $4 million will still be there, if not a little more. Because here's the thing. Everybody knows I voted against the sales tax. Everybody knows I hated the idea from the get-go. Now it's my job to make sure we spend the sales tax for the people, because we didn't raise sales taxes just to give a bunch of raises and do different things for the city. We got to show the citizens and use this money for the people also, Jimmy Dale. So, and that's the plan. That is in a resolution that we passed and whatnot. So it's going good so far. I don't know the exact number yet, but I know the city clerk updates us once a month on where we are with the number, something we have never gotten as a council since I've been there. The city clerk updates us once a month on the finances, and so far we're on the right path.
Any update on where the experts are in looking into the old pool area?
Yes,
That's going to be able to.
Ryan Coleman is helping us with that. He is our architect. We're doing a geological study survey. Okay, we're fixing to do some core drilling. That core drilling is going to actually show us what is up under the existing swimming pool. Because the idea is to put a pool inside a pool, let these kids swim and enjoy it till we figure out and see how we want to build the new aquatic center. Okay, so we're doing some drilling. Hopefully that's going to come back good. I mean, it held water. There's no sides that collapsed. Everything on the bottom looked good so far, but you won't know until you actually do some core drilling and see what's under the swimming pool. So that's where we are with that. Ryan thinks we're going to be okay. Don't know until we get in there, but so far it's going as the plan.
Well, let's face it, we've spent a lot of money.
Oh my gosh, we have spent some money there was money spent before I was elected. EDT coming here and they done some surveys and whatnot. I don't know exactly how, it's not as much as you think. We've done a lot of different things on surveys, but there were surveys on different pieces of property, surveys on the pool, surveys on when they was doing downtown. All that was included. So all of it ain't exactly on the pool, but a good portion of it is. So
right, where are we on the property this was talked about as a possibility of the new aquatic center early on Main Avenue, the old Food World shopping.
The steering committee has met and that property has been pulled off the list. We're not going to put an aquatic center on Main Avenue. No, sir. I think they got together and they started looking at some different options and some different points of views from different people.
Can you see it where it's talked about being put now?
Absolutely. I can see coming off my front porch and looking at them kids going in that aquatic center. Yes, sir. It's going to be right there on Highway. We want it to be, if the planning commission and the council gets together and we can agree on something, that we want to put it right there on 21, just right there in between Central Avenue and the lower part. We're going to leave the lower part up across from Albion Steers. We're going to leave that open for potential businesses. Say if somebody wanted to come in there and say Subway wanted to move right down the road, or say Pizza Hut wanted to come across town, or whatever it may be, going to leave that part open. And there's a flat part right there on top of the hill. As you're going up to the water tower, there's a flat part right there on the bottom that we may have to do a little dirt work. Don't know exactly yet. Ryan Coleman's heading that up to So that I can see it going there, Jimmy Dale. I can see it being a block down from the
5
old.
years or so, maybe?
Yeah, probably so. 4 or 5 years. It just depends on money. Depends on interest rates. Depends on bond markets. Depends on a lot of different things. If the city can afford it or not. You know, because we've kind of been behind the 8 ball for the last 4 years. We changed council presidents and changed some other things, and now we're going a different direction for the people and the way we need to go. So we're kind of behind a little bit. So I'm going to say 4 or 5 years we may be able to walk in. I don't know that for sure, but that would be a good analogy.
Finally this morning, and we talk about this a lot, and we haven't had a paving project in several years
Yes, sir.
now. Is there monies to take care of some of these roads?
When taxes were raised, we put in the resolution that a percentage of the sales tax increase would be put back for paving. Now, the goal is if we have to borrow money for the aquatic center, we're going to get some money to finish our paving project. As you can tell, our concrete streets, we have cut out the bad parts in our concrete streets, and we've cut out bad parts in our sidewalks, and that is almost complete. We've got our concrete streets where you can at least drive on them and not lose your front end. But as our paving, yes, there is talk about a paving project. We want to finish what was done in 18, 19, whenever that was taken care of. We want to finish that.
So important that as a steward of our finances in the city, that our city finances are taken care of properly and they're spent the right way.
Yes, sir. Well, and that's why it's important to have a good city councilman and the right people in the city clerk's office. Because if you get the wrong council members, spend. Well, you've got the financial advisor for the city going, guys, you don't have it, find the money. Guys, you don't have it, find the money. You can only do that so many times. And that's why I'm thankful that I'm sitting in this position, because I'm a firm believer. If you've got $50,000, you can't spend 90. You know, if you can't make payments and you're going to put yourself in a bind, you can't keep borrowing money to Peter to pay Paul, and it gets complicated at times, Jimmy Dale, because there's so that you can move money here and there, which is perfectly legal. People do it all the time. If you're not real careful, you'll overspend. You won't have anything to do what you've planned on doing. Then you're going to have a community that's upset, and it's not fair to the people. The people put me in this position to be a good steward of the taxpayers' money. And so far, I think I've done that. So far, I think the council's been real good the last 2 years of spending money wisely. So we're going to keep going and see what we can do, preacher.
I have borrowed from Peter to pay Paul, and now I owe both of them.
I understand.
District 3, Sylacauga City Councilman Nate Boom Brewer. Nate, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me, Jim Dale.
Hey, we'll be right back with more on Daybreak Live. It's Coach's Corner Thursday morning. Coach John Limbaugh will join us in just a bit, too. We'll continue right after this.